that as a nightmare. They're like, I don't want to get into real estate because I don't want to deal with the plumbing. I don't want to deal with the problems. I don't want to deal with all this other stuff.
Yes.
But the thing is, when it comes to real estate, you kind of have to deal with some of that stuff. And usually those are the most interesting stories. But what's even more interesting is how you overcome them. So is there a big fire that you're able to share with us? And how did you overcome those fires?
And pun intended, our first flip that we did with JT and Polly almost caught fire. And I'm not kidding. We actually had a delivery truck coming and there was electrical wires. It was a very old property in the middle of nowhere. And these electrical wires were going over to a church, which was located right beside the property we're flipping. And the delivery truck backed up into the wires and it shorted out everything, caught on fire and went to the pole. We were like, first day, okay? First day on demo deliveries, like I said, making sure I have all the material, but you have to be able to act fast and you have to not freak out over things. Like I said, the relationship building is super important. Things will always change. Sometimes the design changes on the fly because when you open up walls, you might see something that you never thought was going to be there. And now everyone wants that open concept feel, obviously new kitchens, new bathrooms. And if you're not able to prep, I guess first of all, the tradesman, but also, in your head, what you're kind of coming up against, then you're going to be basically shooting yourself in the foot. You can't expect things to go smooth. They never do in any business, let alone real estate, especially when you're renovating older homes. But I would just say, forge through it because once you overcome one obstacle, I can guarantee you there's going to be 10 or 15 more. But to put out, I guess the fires, if you will, I think it's super important to make sure you have a budget in mind and you stick to that budget because the demand and the supply issues right now with all these materials and the cost increases. I mean, if you're not pre-planning that and not pre-ordering it, you're going to run into delays and you don't want that. You don't want to be waiting to list a property and waiting on an appliance, for instance. You got to make sure that you are well ahead of the game. And that's my biggest, I guess, advice for anybody that's looking at putting out fires, especially in real estate.